What is going on, guys? Dustin here with another NASCAR Diecast review. Today, we are taking a look at one of the first regular series wins so far this year. Is the Denny Hamlin Daytona 500 Champion Diecast review. This is the very same car. Please excuse me for a minute. I gotta need something real quick. There we go. Sorry, the camera was a little shaky. I had to hold it on with my finger real quick. This is the Daytona 500 diecast review. This is the second time I've ever done a diecast review. We have a Daytona 500 champion car. This is also the first of Denny Hamlin. Now, if you remember, my first Daytona 500 review was Austin Dillon. Back almost 2 years ago to this very same day. This Daytona 500 was forever marred by the near almost fatal final lap crash coming to the checkered flag. You know, Ryan Newman was out front. He had Ryan Blaney with him. Blaney accidentally hooked Newman, sent him into the inside wall with an almost explosive thud, followed by Newman getting up on his roof, and the most vulnerable spot, which is basically this area right here, clobbered by oncoming Corey LaJoie. Violent? Yes. Well, sorry for the voice crack. And it was just hard seeing a car like that. And hard to believe that somebody would survive a crash like that, almost with barely a broken bone, a scratch, or a bruise. Anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at this car. Now, as always, for every race win, we get this NASCAR Cup Series box. And we have this race schedule right here. This is the Daytona 500, which is basically this. Now, normally it would race on Sunday, but rain threatened the area, storms, and basically got pushed to prime time on Monday. And let me tell you one thing. Whenever a Daytona 500 gets moved on to Monday, it's always the most interesting race ever. And take a look at the rest of the schedule. And you can see we're almost to Phoenix. And actually, this weekend is Charlotte. It's the Charlotte Roval. Now, serious question. What did everybody think of last week's race at Talladega? I think that was one of the most controversial races I've ever seen. Now, if you're talking controversy, you have not seen a bullcrap ending to a Talladega race. If you've seen the one in 2015, and if you saw this one, Talladega is always the home of controversy. I don't know if it's an ongoing trend for 5 years now, that there's always going to be a controversial ending to a Daytona race. The 2008 race ended in controversy with Tony Stewart and Reagan Smith. 2015 ended with Joey Logano winning controversially. And just recently, Denny Hamlin won under big-time controversy. Speaking of Denny Hamlin, this is actually one of the first few Denny Hamlin cars I ever reviewed. It's the 11 FedEx Express. We have not seen or had done a Denny Hamlin review for a long time. Daytona Champion 2020 Camry, one of 1,092 of these are made. And actually, this is the first time of his career for Denny Hamlin to win back-to-back Daytona 500s. Now joining the likeness of Sterling Marlin, who won in 93 and 94. Here's the stats card. The Daytona 500 champion, Daytona Beach, Florida, February 17th, 2020. Time of the race was 3 hours, 42 minutes, 10 seconds. The reason why it went a little bit longer was because of the red flags that came out. Start position was 21st, and there were 209 laps. I think this is the longest Daytona 500 race ever. I might be wrong on that. Who knows? 9 cautions for 39 laps. There were some big crashes. There were some wrecks, along with the stage endings. He only led 79 laps, and it's actually one of the closest Daytona 500 finishes ever, with a margin of victory of 0.14 seconds. I think this almost edges out, or almost beats, the first time he won his first Daytona 500 against Martin Truex Jr. in 2016. 2016 Daytona 500 was actually one of the most exciting ones, because you got 2 Toyotas banging each other coming to the finish line, and Denny Hamlin just edged out Martin Truex Jr. with barely by a fender. And here's the back of the stats card. Hamlin repeats his Daytona champion. Unknowingly, there was a violent but almost fatal wreck behind him. Piloting the number 11 FedEx Toyota Camry, Denny Hamlin won his 3rd Daytona 500 in 5 years, becoming a back-to-back champion of the Great American Race, joining the likeness of Dale Jarrett. I forgot who were some of the... I know Dale Jarrett and Jeff Gordon were a part of that. 3-time Daytona 500 champions. And Richard Petty only won 7 times. Joe Gibbs racing driver held off his nearest competitor in a photo finish, 2nd closest finish in the history of the prestigious NASCAR Cup Series season opener. Led 79 of the race's 209 laps and won the race under caution. Now remember this, Ryan Blaney and Denny Hamlin were side by side at the time the caution went out. They had to go back to the scoring loops because they were both close to the line. All NASCAR could have done was let them race back, but then you got Ryan Newman flipping end over end violently in one of the worst Daytona 500 crashes I've ever seen. And they had to throw the caution. Because I understand they were close to the finish line, but once you got somebody flipping violently, they got to throw the caution just for the competition safety. Let's go ahead and take a look at the car. Also, here's a race winner sticker. That's a silver one. It's pretty nice. Here's the front of the car. It's a 2020 Toyota Camry. Here's the top with FedEx and with all the Daytona 500 confetti. Actually, this is one of the few Daytona 500 wins, few race wins I have that does not include a baggie of confetti. Normally, it would come in normally, race winners would come with a baggie of confetti, but I guess no. I don't know why they stopped doing that. Which really adds in an authenticity, Once you put this in a display case, you could just sprinkle some, put some on the base before you put the car in. I kind of understand that. And I guess everyone now these days just, you go down the race winner circle and, just steal yourself a few. I did that one time, but I never seen them again. I think that was from a Brad Keselowski race win. And here's the windshield with the NASCAR Cup Series and the 2 Toyota logos. Oh, speaking of Toyota, what's Kyle Busch win so far? 0-4-32, I believe, for this year. Sorry, guys, I just had to. Oh, and I almost saw one more thing. What's actually really cool, I've been recently beginning these in. These are actually so cool. Cool to have. These are the Sam Bass paintings, which they actually made in the cards, which actually looks pretty cool. My favorite one out of all this possibly has to be the Dale Earnhardt 7-time champion, and I think there's also a Richard Petty one in there too. Yep, here it is. Richard Petty and Earnhardt, sharing the same painting together as 7-time NASCAR Cup Series champions. And how's this amazing is a sample card. Actually looks pretty cool too. Alright, back to the review. Is the roof, which you got 11. Got opening roof flaps, and you also got a roof hatch right here. This is a mandatory for a speedway, super speedways, restrictor plate tracks. Now, in case of an event that if you cannot get out of your car via window net, you can always open this up and manage to get out safely. Here's the back. You got FedEx Express, and you also got the unique diecast identification number. FedEx on the back. Then you got Camry and FedEx.com/deliver in Toyota. This car almost looks clean, to be honest. Here's the spoiler. I think they actually did reduce the spoiler for big tracks like these. Big tracks like Daytona or Talladega. I think you would see the bigger ones for us. For one of the smaller tracks. You got FedEx Express here, and also you got Denny Hamlin's name up on the name rail. You got CLT, Coca-Cola. I think JD Gibbs or Joe Gibbs. I can't remember. I also got the little Toyota. And to be honest, this car is just like almost pristine. You got maybe just a few scuffs here and there. Then again, Denny Hamlin and Ryan Blaney were banging their way to the finish. If you ever want to know how close Hamlin was like he had almost had Ryan Newman come up at him and almost took him out. If Hamlin were to have been about just a few inches closer to Ryan Blaney, and once Ryan Blaney accidentally turned Ryan Newman, Hamlin would have gotten the worst end of it. So here's the other side. You got 3M, K&N, Lincoln Welder, Sunoco, also a NASCAR Cup Series, and a NASCAR race car, and you also got this John Andretti number 43 Memoriam Decal. John Andretti did pass away due to cancer. He lost his battle with cancer. He was a former IndyCar driver and a Richard Petty Motorsports driver. And he was actually one of my childhood drivers as well. Seeing that Cheerio number 43 out on the track. You also got the window net, and basically all the sponsors the same. You also got the race winner sticker up here. As always, up on the driver's side, not on the passenger side. Now, if you actually really notice Victory Lane celebration, it was much more, somber, and they want to get it done quick. They want to get the interviews done because their biggest focus was Ryan Newman, who was sitting upside down in his car, leaking fuel out of his car, and the biggest worry is fire and explosion. But the second one was basically from where he got hit right up here. Most people thought we just saw death again. NASCAR Motorsports dealt with death in 2001 when Dale died. This was like almost instant fear. Here's the back underside of the car. And the hood. I really like the fact that they actually opened up these cowl vents here. The air intakes, which actually looks pretty amazing. I'm going to have to... I had it. There we go. Hood opens up just barely, but then it just settles right back down. Down where it's at now. Here is the engine. Wish I had a flashlight on so that way you can peer inside, but Turns out I don't have one. That's a bummer. I also got a Mobile One and Toyota underneath. That engine. So, do I really like this Daytona 500 review? Daytona 500 win? And what do I think of the racing? Well, it's the racing. It was pretty good in the beginning, and then everybody starts to get a little bit squirrely, which I always say super speedways like Daytona or Talladega. Some of these drivers, I usually say they're getting a little bit squirrely, desperate, and then all the big wrecks. I just usually say bad crash, quoting Benny Parsons. But that final crash with the Ryan Newman and Corey LaJoie, that was very, very serious. I remember before they stopped, they stopped the broadcast. They were told to stop by Fox. In the broadcast, they were putting tarps, like protecting tarps, like one here, another one here, and another one here with Ryan Newman's car upside down. They just pulled him out. They were doing CPR. Fans were fearing for the worst, that they thought they saw Ryan Newman died in a Daytona 500 crash. He was almost on his way for a second Daytona 500 win. And then a couple of days later, walked out of the hospital with its daughter's hand in hand. Barely a cut, a scratch, or a bruise. So, and I also forgot to mention Donald J. Trump, the President of the United States, got to do a lap around Daytona in the presidential limousine with these cars behind him. That I thought was a beautiful, amazing moment. Again, may not like him, but I don't want to say, I don't want to bring politics into these diecast videos. So, anyway, hope you all like this review. Leave a comment, subscribe for more NASCAR diecast reviews, and hopefully I get back more soon. And possibly after the season's up, you may not possibly see me review some more diecast cars because I made an adult purchase. Yes, it's a new car. So anyway, my name's Dustin, and I will see you guys later.